Alright, so here we go. So first off, for those of you who are new here, welcome. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like and a subscribe. I have plenty more videos planned. I've been incredibly busy and I think I have some very interesting tools that you guys are going to be interested in. For those of you who have been reaching out to me in relation to this particular tool, this is the video that you've been looking for. It is probably not going to be a short one, so for those of you who don't have the time or simply cannot be stuffed sitting around listening to me talk, here is the TLDR. So at first you would have noticed we are not sitting in Airtable anymore. We are now sitting inside Supabase. I've totally moved away from Airtable just due to the limitation on record size and their API interactions. I wanted to scale this tool considerably and Airtable was just not the right tool for that. So I've decided to go with Supabase. Supabase is a SQL database with a fairly well-functioning front end and visual interface that we are looking at here. You'll see that we have a very similar layout to what we had in Airtable with some core differences. So at the end of the TLDR, a lot of people have been asking, is this tool available? How can I get access to this tool? The short answer is yes, it is available. The longer answer is it is available to a very select few. If you're interested, I will leave my email in the description below, but a forewarning, this is not a tool for beginner agencies. So for those of you who want to stick around and listen to me dribble on for potentially 20 minutes, let's get into it. As I quickly touched on, the main reason that I moved to Supabase was I wanted to be able to scale this tool indefinitely. Due to the fact that Supabase is a SQL database, it gives me a tremendous amount of power to be able to do things that are just simply not possible in Airtable. Don't get me wrong, Airtable is a fantastic tool and I still use it for smaller projects, but as you will see shortly, this is not a small project, and going to SQL has allowed me to do some advanced magic and be able to integrate AI directly into the database to be able to not only do cool information, but also to be able to do detailed data analysis. So what you'll see here is similar to Airtable. We have all our statistics for our source accounts. This is our accounts table over here. You'll see that we are collecting similar information, so we're still counting the followers scraped, we still count the max ID for when we are scraping, and then the typical kind of information that we're still getting in Airtable. The main difference here in Supabase versus Airtable is in Airtable you may have remembered that what we're doing is we're doing all our sorting, filtering and formulas inside a particular table. In SQL, what we do is we create what is called a view. So you'll see here, we'll come down to this one. So what we have here is a SQL view. So we still had views in Airtable, but they were used a little bit differently. A view in Airtable was essentially based off a single table, and you were filtering particular records that were inside that particular table. That is not what is done here. You'll see here in the definition, essentially the definition is how the table is created, and it is written in SQL. Obviously, that's why it's called SQL. You see here we are creating a view on our public schema called OnlyFans Creators, and how we are creating that view, we are selecting from the following table. We're going to call the following table F. From the following table, we are selecting the bio, the username, and the TikTok UID. Bio, username, TikTok UID. And then we are doing our filtering here inside SQL. So where the exists from bio keywords, so that's our list of bio keywords over here. So if the bio keyword exists in our list here, which you'll see we have a very basic list here of bio keywords that are common for OnlyFans creators. If the bio contains any of those keywords inside the bio keywords table, it'll then display those particular accounts inside this particular view. So it is very similar to Airtable. This is a much more powerful tool with a extra layer of complexity, but once you manage to wrap your head around it, this is infinitely scalable. See down here that we still have the scrape feed, scrape profile, etc, etc. So it is very similar to what it is in Airtable, but as I said before, the main reason why I went to Supabase was because of the sheer scale that I would like to take this tool to. Now, with Airtable, even with the plan that I had, I believe I maxed out at 125,000 records in a base. So a base is a collection of tables. Inside Supabase, this has been running properly for probably about a week. I scrape every hour, and you'll see we are up to 832,000 records. So this is only the beginning of what this is going to do. I've had to be very careful with letting this thing loose, because the amount of accounts we can scrape and add into the database, it can get out of hand very, very quickly. So you see what we have going on here is some of these accounts do not have a post count. This is because we have not scraped the profile yet. So the flow here is exactly the same. We will come over to the automations real quick. I still have a video planned for N8N for people who are interested in that. It is going to be a fairly in-depth video though, so this is outside the scope of today. This is just to give a high-level overview of what is going on. And then if you come into the feed sub workflow, so this here is our main workflow for scraping the feed for TikTok. It's very similar to what we had before with Airtable, but you may or may not notice, for those who have a keen eye, we're using a lot more code nodes here. This is one of the core reasons why I went to N8N. So before I was using it like a Airtable node, and my biggest bottleneck was the fact that we had to use the Airtable node, and they're just really, really slow. So one of the main things that we're able to do here, so the main difference here with Postgres and SQL in general is we have these little HTTP requests. So I can't pop this open because I can't be bothered blurring out all the credentials. But you'll see what we're doing here is we have a post request to this particular URL, and what this is a database function. So before we had to perform all the filtering and function logic inside this workflow. Now what we can do is we can use JavaScript to be able to take all the information that we get from the API request for the initial scrape. We can format it in a particular way that we want, and then we can send this off to these little database functions. So this database function here, this is checking that the video UID does not already exist inside the database, and then if it is inside the database, it'll come this way, and it will then update all the information with all the recently scraped information inside the database. And if it is not, it will come in here, and you can probably see here, it will come in here, and then it will create the row inside the database, and then we move on to where we were before. So what you see here is all the database functions. So these are functions, these are code functions essentially that are hosted on the database infrastructure. So these create a little API. From that API, I can then call the API inside my N8N workflow, which is what we just looked at. And these are unbelievably quick. So we can do incredibly complex things at lightning speed. So this has sped up the interactions with the database like 20-fold. It's not even comparable to the speed that we were able to run at before in Airtable. You'll see we have find duplicate TikTok UIDs. This will run automatically, so every time that something is updated, it double checks that this is not inside the database. You'll see add video stats and sounds. So we have to use these functions because video stats and sounds are in two different tables. So we're able to update the first table and then take that information and then update the sounds as well. So you'll see down here that we are using SQL again. This is the sheer power of SQL. Like, we are able to write fairly simple functions in SQL and then execute very complex tasks very, very quickly. So that's just a quick look at that. So I don't want to waffle on too much. There isn't really too much to show here. I just wanted to more so explain what was going on. Like I said, I've had a ton of interest in this tool, and I just wanted to show where it is and also where it is going. The last thing that I will show will be this bad boy. So what we have here, one of the advantages of moving to SQL is I am now able to use AI to analyze the database. So all that I've built here is a custom script that will take my natural language query. You see we're about to put this into here. So I have give me 10 accounts that have their account set to private, and this is going to send off to the AI API. It is going to send off this natural language query. You'll see it's just in plain old English. It's going to send this off to the AI API. That is going to then interpret exactly what this is, and this has access to the database directly. Then it will come back with an SQL statement that it believes is relevant to be able to pull this set of information. So before, we had to manually search all through the database. We had to find the records that we wanted to, or had to pay a VA to be able to go and do that. Now we can literally talk to the database exactly the way that we want in a very, very clean and concise manner. So you see it still needs a little bit of tuning. You see our numbers are a little bit out, but I'm sure you can see the power that this has at the moment. This is something that is not possible anywhere else. This is something I've had to build completely custom, but along with a couple other implementations that I'm working on, this is going to be incredibly powerful. So you can come in here and you can ask it any question in plain old English, and from plain English it'll automatically work out what you're trying to say, and then it will go search the database, and then it will come back with the exact results that you want. Doesn't matter what it is, it will work out exactly what you mean, has access to the entire database, and then it will print out the results that you're looking for. So that is pretty much it. I just wanted to give a quick overview. Like I said, I've had a crazy amount of interest in this tool, and it's something that I've been working quite hard on, and I thought I wanted to share on where it is. This is only the beginning of where this is going to go. To wrap this up, I have also built a mobile application that will sit on top of this. So as opposed to before was sending out emails of the top videos that we would analyze, you see we're chasing down almost 300,000 videos that we analyze every 4 hours, where before I could only do it once a day. So every 4 hours, my scraper comes in and analyzes each one of these, and then updates the video stats column over here with the most relevant information. So now that this works in real time, you'll see we've got almost 4 million video stat records since we've been running it. Once I have the mobile application fully up and running and working, it'll just be a super simple mobile application where you can literally just talk to the database. It will have a bunch of prompts already preset and outlined, and you'll be able to get all the information in natural language simply by talking to it. And the next step of this is going to be a detailed data analysis tool using an agentic AI software using AI teams. So I've built a little team of AI agents that go out and will analyze this database every single day, and through a process of elimination and around 7 different AI agents, they all communicate with each other, and then they quality check each other's responses. Essentially, I'm trying to get rid of all the manual labor that is required in this and all the human error. So that is pretty much it for this one. Like I said, I've got a bunch more videos planned. I am just incredibly busy. I am a builder before I am a content creator, so YouTube will always come second. But if there's any videos you guys would like to see, or if you would like me to dive deeper into something, please just let me know. For those of you who are still listening, thank you very much. If you have any questions or just like to chat about anything AI, automation, or OnlyFans, as I said, I will leave my email in the comments. But and till the next one, thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Peace.